Right, welcome to part 17. Right, it's a really horrible day today weather-wise, so I'm going to be in the garage a bit, I think, today. We haven't really got time to do an awful lot because we've got too much going on. So anyway, what we've decided to do is just going to have a quick look at these shocks. So, if you remember rightly, I think right back at episode 9 or something, we discovered that the original shock was knackered. So I've got an SV650 shock with low mileage one for pennies. I think it was like 10 quid. It's just stupid money, and I'm just doing some comparison. I've just pressed the bush out. We know that bush has got to go because we know the differences here is that the SV shock is using 10 millibolts, not 12 millibolts. So that bushing there needed to come out. So I've done that. Hopefully we can press the one out of the GPZ shock and put it in there if I can get it out without damaging it. That, or I was going to have to buy a bushing, or I have to make something, or come up with something. Right, so that's one thing. Right, the next one, let's just looking at the difference in the height. Approximately 25 millimeters different, but I'm looking at the fork end of it. If I line the fork ends up, I can see that virtually all of that is in the fork. There's hardly any difference in the actual length of the shock. So what we could really do is, well, we've got to drill this out anyway because it's 10. We could weld up them holes and then re-drill it in the correct position, and that will give us the right ride height. Now we could do that. I am just tempted though, for the sake of trying it, just drilling that out 12 and throwing that shock in and seeing what it does to the ride height. Now I'm got a bit of a thing with raising the ride height of bikes. First of all, it might not suit the owner. Secondly, it'll muck up the stands a bit if we raise the ride height, so we might need to look at that. But I think for the sake of a 12mm drill, and we'd have to weld it up anyway, it's worth a go. So I think we'll just do that, and plus it'll let us iron out any other issues in there. So I think we'll just try that. We'll drill this out 12, press this bushing out and press it in there, and we'll try it. If you remember right back in, I think it was about part 3 or 4 when we took the back wheel out, we had this problem with it didn't seem to fit the space of the back wheel. It was all a bit of a tight fit. Not helped now by the new chain adjusters being slightly thicker than the old ones. That's lost us even more space. And I had a good look at this, and I tried to open the arm out thinking that the arm had been squeezed together, and that arm is very strong. I think if I was trying to, well, I put the jack on it and it just felt like it was going to break it or crack something or crack a weld. So we checked the wheel alignment, and the wheel alignment is excellent. So I don't know quite what's going on and really understand why it's been squeezed up, or if it has been squeezed up, it looks like it's been squeezed up evenly. So we're back to plan A after plan B of opening the arm didn't work, of cutting the spacer down to the right size. So let's show you how I went about that. Right, I don't have a lathe. A nice little lathe would just make this job fun, and it doesn't. So it's the makeshift lathe of the drill in the clamp. So I've clamped the spacer between two big washers and spun it at quite a slow speed. The idea of spinning it is to get a nice even cut in it, because if you try to cut that directly, it would just be all over the shop, especially as I can't use hacksaws properly. So I tried it with a hacksaw, and you can see that it scored it quite badly. It was just jumping about. A hacksaw just didn't seem to want to work. I tried it both directions, it wasn't having any of it. So I've just tried a very thin angle grinder blade on it, very gently with the angle grinder, and that looks great. I'm really happy with that. It's come out really good. Now I haven't filmed it at the time, of course. I don't really have the ability to do that. So let's just try that. Hopefully it's cooled down a bit now. Let's get it out the chuck and let's check it out. Looking at it with the vernier, looks pretty good. Looks like we are pretty close to where we should be. Anyway, let's try it. So 10 minutes, Fury's filing. And that's a really nice tight fit in there. Really happy with that. That's great. Really happy with that. That looks alright. Perfect. Clean up the exhaust and I assumed that this was an original steel downpipes, but the more of this paint I'm getting off, I'm thinking it actually might be a stainless steel system, or part of a stainless steel system. So I think I'll leave it out in the rain. Not normally a problem, absolutely filthy day as normal, and see if it rusts. If it doesn't rust, we know it's stainless. Anyway, I like these sorts of experiments. You just leave it and come back later. Anyway, I think we'll leave it there. That's the end of this one. Next time.